long enough. The cost of silence and distance and the slow, quiet grief of a life lived alongside something I love but cannot quite reach. That cost is higher than any vulnerability could ever be. That cost is the one I am done paying. I want to tell you about a specific moment. One I have carried in a particular way, with a particular tenderness, like something fragile that you hold in both hands and try not to jostle. It was an ordinary moment, the kind that doesn't announce its own significance while it's happening, the kind you only understand later when you're looking back and trying to locate the exact place where everything became clear to you. We were not doing anything remarkable. The day was not special by any external measure, and yet something about it, the quality of the light, or the ease between us, or some particular thing you said or didn't say, some small and specific thing that I cannot even fully reconstruct now, but whose emotional reality I carry completely intact. Something about it landed in me with the weight of an answer. This is what I have been looking for. Not in those words, not consciously, not with any of the analytical clarity I'm applying to it now in retrospect. But in the body, in that pre-verbal knowing that lives below thought and does not require your permission or your intellectual agreement. My whole self just settled. The way something settles when it finds its right place. The way a key feels when it finds the lock it was made for. And I remember thinking, in some half-formed and barely conscious way, that I could stay in this forever. That whatever this was, this specific combination of you and me in the ordinary unguarded moment we were inside together, I did not want it to end. And then I let it end. Not in that moment. Not immediately. But I let the fear come back in, let it do what fear does, let it construct its reasonable and measured arguments for why I should not trust what I felt, why I should not act on it, why the careful and protected choice was the wise one. And I listened to it. And by the time I was done listening to it, the window had shifted, and I have been living in the space between that moment and this one ever since, carrying the memory of how it felt to be settled, truly settled, and knowing that the thing that created that feeling was something I walked away from with my own 2 feet. Do you know what I think about when things are hard? Not you in the abstract, not the idea of what we could have been, but that specific feeling, that settling. I think about what it felt like to be in that ordinary moment and feel my whole self go quiet and say yes. Here. This. I think about it because it is the most reliable evidence I have ever had of what it feels like when something is genuinely right, not performatively right, not right because it looks good from the outside or makes logical sense or fits the plan I had constructed for how my life was supposed to go, right in the way that bypasses all of that and goes straight to the truest part of you and just knows. I want that feeling back. I want to find my way back to it, or forward to a new version of it, one built on who we are now and everything we have each lived through and learned. I believe it is possible. I have to believe it is possible, not as a desperate wish but as a genuine assessment of what exists between us, what has always existed between us, that particular and irreplaceable thing that distance and time and my own cowardice have not been able to extinguish. If it could be extinguished, it would have been by now. The fact that it hasn't, the fact that I am here, saying all of this, feeling all of this, with an aliveness and a certainty that has only grown sharper rather than duller with the passage of time, that tells me something. I think it tells you something too. I want to ask you to do something. Something small, or maybe not small at all, depending on where you are and what this is landing in. I want to ask you to be honest with yourself about what you feel when you hear all of this. Not what you think you should feel, not what seems most reasonable or most self-protective or most practical given everything. What you actually feel. In the body, in the chest, in that deep and reliable place that knows things before the mind catches up to them. I am not asking you to tell me. I am not asking you to do anything with it at all. Not yet. I am just asking you to be honest with yourself about it, to not immediately cover it over with the reasonable arguments and the self-protective instincts and the very valid reminders of how complicated this is. Let yourself feel it first. The complicated part will still be there when you're ready to deal with it. Let yourself feel it first. Because I think you feel something. I think something in you has been responding to this, to all of this, in ways that are not nothing. And I think you have probably become very skilled at not fully acknowledging those responses, at keeping them at a certain manageable distance, because the alternative, letting yourself fully feel something in the direction of someone who once stepped back from you, is a vulnerable and frightening thing. I understand that. I understand it more than I can say, because I have been doing the same thing in reverse for longer than I want to admit. Managing the feeling, keeping it at a distance that feels sustainable. Choosing the familiar ache of suppression over the unknown risk of expression. I understand why you might be doing that, and I am gently, lovingly, with full respect for your autonomy and your right to feel exactly whatever you feel, at exactly the pace that feels right to you. I am gently asking you to consider letting yourself feel it fully. Just once, just here, in the safety of this moment, where nothing is required of you and nothing has to be decided. You are safe here. I need you to know that. Whatever you feel in response to everything I have said, you are safe to feel it. You will not be judged for it, or pushed beyond what is comfortable, or asked to make decisions before you are ready. This is not a situation with a timer on it, not a limited offer, not something that expires if you don't respond in the right way, at the right moment. This is just the truth, finally out in the open, finally allowed to exist in the air between us rather than only inside me. And the truth is patient. It has already waited this long. It can wait as long as you need. What it cannot do, what I am not capable of doing, is going back to pretending it isn't there. That is the one thing that is no longer available to me. I have tried that for long enough to know it doesn't work. Not really, not in any way that matters. You can manage a feeling, keep it tamed and quiet, and out of the way of your daily functioning. But you cannot make it stop being true. You cannot logic it out of existence. You cannot wait it out. I have tried all of those things. The feeling simply sits and waits and occasionally rises up in the most inconvenient moments to remind you that it has not gone anywhere and has no intention of going anywhere and would appreciate, if it's not too much trouble, being acknowledged. I am acknowledging it. Fully, finally out loud and in your direction where it has always been pointed. I am acknowledging it because it deserves to be acknowledged, and because you deserve to be the one who knows about it, and because I am finished being the person who keeps the most important truths locked away in the name of self-protection. Self-protection is not the same as self-preservation. I have learned that slowly and at significant cost. Protecting yourself from vulnerability does not protect you from pain, it just changes the shape of the pain. Instead of the sharp, exposed pain of being seen and possibly rejected, you get the long, dull, persistent pain of never being fully known. And I have had enough of that pain to last me a lifetime. I want to be fully known. By you specifically above everyone else. Not because knowing me is a simple or uncomplicated thing, I am aware it is neither. But because the version of being known that I have glimpsed in the moments when you and I were most ourselves with each other is the version I want to live inside. That quality of seeing and being seen, that specific ease of existing in someone's presence without performing or managing or keeping yourself carefully arranged. I have found it rarely, and I have found it with you more than anywhere else, and I am not willing to pretend that doesn't mean something enormous. It means you. It has always meant you. All the roads I have walked inside my own heart, all the questions I have asked myself in the honest hours, all the times I have tried to understand what it is I am actually looking for, and why nothing else has felt quite right. They have always, eventually, found their way back to you. Not dramatically, not with trumpets or grand revelation, quietly. The way water finds its level. The way a compass needle finds north. Without force or effort or intention. Just the simple, undeniable gravity-like pull of something true. You are my true north. I don't know how else to say it. And I have been trying to find another way for a long time, because that phrase feels almost too simple for the size of what I mean by it. But sometimes the simple thing is the accurate thing, and this is one of those times. You are the direction my heart moves in when nothing else is directing it. You are what I come back to. You are the measure I use without meaning to, the standard against which other things are quietly compared. The proof I carry that this level of connection is real and possible, because I have felt it, briefly and imperfectly, and at a distance of my own making. But I have felt it.